born from a dead body, fathered by a planetary consciousness, and in control of the nature around her. If you think Kiri's power is impressive now, wait until she takes on 𝐉𝐸. So what happens when a girl who controls nature meets a clan that destroys it with fire? Let's get into Kiri and what you need to know before Fire and Ash. Origin and early life. Kiri was born in 2155, just 1 year after the First War. Her full name, 𝐾𝐚𝐳𝐲𝐽, carries the weight of her origins. Kiri as her given name, 𝐶𝐶 from her adoptive father Jake's Na'vi name 𝐏𝐚𝐬𝐧, and 𝐾𝐚𝐳𝐲𝐽 meaning daughter of grace, the Na'vi translation of Grace Augustine. As Jake explains, she was born of Grace's still living but comatose avatar body after Grace died in the 2154 conflict. No one knows who the father is. Her existence is treated as a mystery, described by some as a virgin birth, and by others as Eywa's will. Jake and Neytiri adopted her into the Sully family immediately. Kiri is about the same age as 𝐿. In The Way of Water, we even see flashes of their early days, when both infants were brought by Jake and Neytiri to the Tree of Souls for their first connection to Eywa, surrounded by the entire 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼𝐼 clan. She has both human and Na'vi traits, 5 fingers, soft eyebrows, and no elongated canines, marking her as a Na'vi-human hybrid like the rest of the Sully kids. She grew up among the 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼, first in the remnants of Home Tree between 2155 to 2168, and later in the Floating Mountains. She lived shoulder to shoulder with 𝐁𝐸, 𝐿OAC, and 𝐷𝐿𝐼. 𝐿OAC, her adoptive grandmother, guided her through Na'vi traditions, rituals, and healing arts, something we see in Avatar: The High Ground. She spent much of her childhood alongside Spider, the human boy born just before the fall of the Home Tree. Together, they explored forests, observed animals, and learned survival skills. In High Ground, we even see them wandering Hell's Gate and venturing into dangerous old battlefields. To Kiri, Spider isn't just a friend, he's her brother. She's always the one fighting for his place in the family, even when Neytiri refuses. The comics show her inviting him into Sully celebrations, much to Neytiri's frustration. Isn't Neytiri versus Kiri clash on the cards in Fire and Ash? Given Spider and Kiri's close relationship, it seems possible to us. Tell us what you think in the comments. When growing up, life in the 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼 clan included lessons, games, swimming, training and hunting, and navigating the forest. Kiri showed a consistent interest in the natural world and in the plants and creatures around her, often spending extended periods observing them closely, a practice we can see carried through into The Way of Water. This curiosity closely reflected Grace's passion for Pandora's flora, unique powers, and spiritual connection. As she grew up, Kiri's abilities and her affinity with Pandoran nature became more visible. Kiri tamed a mountain banshee, 𝐼𝐼, named Tanhi when she was a child. Unlike other 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼, she does not go through the standard 𝐼𝐼 trial with a banshee like we see Jake experience in Avatar. If you remember, that was a life or death moment for Jake. Instead, she simply approaches an 𝐼𝐼 and asks it to be her friend, and it accepts her. She also starts to ride earlier than typical 𝐿𝐼𝐼 teens, and her bond with the animal is presented as empathetic and effortless rather than relying on physicality. In The Way of Water, her close bond with Eywa becomes apparent very early on. After glimpsing her as a child in the opening montage with Jake's narration, teenage Kiri's first words sound strangely familiar and comforting. In case you didn't know, Kiri is voiced by Sigourney Weaver, who played Grace in the first movie. In essence, she is voiced by her mother. We hear Kiri debating with 𝐿OAC, her grandmother, about the best remedy for war wounds. Kiri tells her, "I would use 𝐷𝐼𝐼 bark, because it is better, it stings less." Kiri makes sure to stay close to her mother, visiting her avatar body and looking lovingly upon her. She watches Grace's old video logs explaining the Pandoran ecology, again with reverence and love in her eyes. We hear her siblings make gentle jokes about who her father is, and we will come back to that later. Remember, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like. In one of the franchise's most beautiful sequences, we see Kiri in the Pandoran jungle at one with and in awe of the plant life and the animal life. Until Kyrene gather as they did with Jake in the first movie, highlighting her significance to Eywa. As she sleeps on the jungle floor, she falls into a deep trance, and Spider struggles to wake her. She was communing with Eywa. Exiled to the 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼 and the Second War. The Sully family then fled east to 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼, the ocean home of the 𝐿𝐼𝐼𝐼 clan, leaving the forest behind. From the moment they arrive, Kiri adapts to the ocean faster than any of her siblings. She swims and dives effortlessly, explores reefs, kelp forests, and coral groves, moving with grace and wonder among the ocean creatures. Her first encounters with the local animal life cement her place within the reef immediately. While the others, Jake, Neytiri, 𝐿OAC, all struggle to bond with the sea creatures and perform 𝐶𝐻𝐻𝐿u, Kiri's 𝐸𝐿u approaches her, and immediately they are a team. We then see her ability to command sea life, while Rona watches on closely. The new trailer hints that she's only just beginning to understand the full extent of these gifts, and that they're set to shape the outcome of the coming conflict. But even surrounded by all the reef's beauty, Kiri feels out of place. The 𝐏𝐚𝐻𝐳 children call her a freak. She tells Neytiri that she just wants to be normal, and she tells Jake that she knows she probably sounds crazy. They both, as good parents would, reassure her that she is perfect the way she is. Kiri's first encounter with the 𝐏𝐚𝐻𝐳 spirit tree marks a dramatic turning point. She approaches the glowing tendrils carefully and performs 𝐶𝐻𝐻𝐾. She then experiences a vivid vision of grace where they embrace. She asks why she is different and what the Great Mother wants from her. And when she asks who her father is, the vision ends with a life-threatening seizure. Scans show unusual neural activity triggered by contact with the tree, but Norm's human science fails to save her. Rowanal's Eywa forward healing technique, on the other hand, brings her back to life. Many have theorized that her system was overloaded because she is an avatar of Eywa, and connecting to the tree was like plugging a power source into itself. What do you think about this theory? What if this wasn't a seizure? What if it was a download? We'll be getting deeper into Kiri and Eywa's connection shortly, so stick around. Kiri's abilities prove critical in life or death moments during the skirmish at the Three Brothers. She manipulates sea plants to snare enemy submersibles. One mini-sub pursuing 𝐿oak and 𝐾𝐻𝐻 is destroyed through her intervention, likely saving 𝐿oak's life. And as the Sea Dragon mothership sank, she sent glowing fish into the wreck to illuminate escape routes, bringing Neytiri and 𝐾𝐻𝐻 safely from flooded compartments. These actions show her near-symbiotic relationship with the ocean and its creatures, turning the tide in favor of her family. Kiri's father. There is plenty of speculation around who Kiri's father is and what the truth around her birth is. While we do not yet have any clear idea, it seems likely that Fire and Ash will shed more light on this. The latest trailer hinted as much, with Moat saying, "Tell her it is time." Although the children joke in The Way of Water that Norm might be the father, this seems very unlikely when you look closely at what we've seen. Firstly, it is fair to say that Grace's character in Avatar was beyond human childbearing age. Secondly, deleted scenes from the first Avatar film reveal that Norm was already taken. He and Ncuti Chacon were romantically entwined for a short time before her death, and Norm does not seem the type to play the field like that. Also, Norm being the father is far less exciting than some of the mind-boggling alternatives. Could she be a clone of Grace herself? This would line up with the 𝐾𝐻𝐻𝐳, daughter of Grace, naming convention. However, this seems unlikely to us, as it doesn't explain her powers. So if she isn't a clone and she isn't Norm's, could we be looking at a literal god walking among the Na'vi? Is she Pandora's messiah, Eywa incarnate? She certainly ticks many of the boxes. Virgin birth with no known father, the ability to command nature, and perhaps even undergoing death and resurrection at the hands of the spirit tree. Kiri's role in the future. Looking ahead, Kiri's role is poised to expand significantly. The Fire and Ash trailers have already shown us that Kiri will play a crucial role in the new film, as she features prominently in all of them. We know that she will spend time with the 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐻𝐿 clan aboard their sky caravans, that she will get into trouble with 𝐿oak in the jungle again, and most crucially, that she will be taken prisoner by the film's new antagonist 𝐉𝐴𝐻, the Manquan clan leader. These so-called Ash people are believed to have rejected Eywa, and the trailer suggests they've formed an alliance with 𝐴𝐻𝐻 and the RDA. That puts Kiri, a Na'vi hybrid born of a human's avatar, possibly the daughter of Eywa herself, at the heart of the struggle, between humans and the Na'vi, between spirituality and destruction, between the way of Eywa and the way of Fire and Ash. Kiri's life is defined by mystery, power, and destiny. As new threats arise from both darker Na'vi factions and the returning RDA, Kiri's abilities will be crucial for the survival of her people and the balance of the planet itself. If you enjoyed exploring Kiri's character in depth, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite characters and their stories. See you in the next video as we continue the fight for Pandora.